AI image generators have become increasingly popular in today's media. People are using AI-generated images in YouTube videos, advertising apps with cool AI phone backgrounds, and posting AI-generated images on social media. The increasing popularity of these AI images raises a question for those in creative professions. How will AI affect their jobs? Some artists and creators embrace artificial intelligence and believe AI image generators could be a tool they could use in their jobs. Others don't consider AI a threat to their profession at all, because they believe AI cannot replace humans. And others do consider AI a threat and seek to stop it. Regardless of which of these views we agree with, there's one thing I believe is for certain. We must not continue referring to AI-generated images as AI art. People argue whether AI-generated images should or should not be considered art based on how they define art. For some, art is just something making something beautiful. Well, as you can see in these examples on the slide, art doesn't necessarily always have to be beautiful. Then let's look at how we might define art. We often associate art with creativity and expression. In fact, if we search what is art, the dictionary definition that comes up on Google is this: the expression or application of human creative skill and imagination, typically in a visual form such as painting or sculpture, producing works to be primarily appreciated for their beauty or emotional power. Then, do AI image generators and AI images satisfy this definition of art? Let's take a look at the first two keywords in our definition, which are human creativity. But what is creativity? In mathematician and professor of science at the University of Oxford, Marcus du Sautoy's book, The Creativity Code, he examines philosopher, psychologist, cognitive scientist, AI expert Margaret Bowden's 3 types of creativity. The first type of creativity is exploratory creativity, which is exploring what is possible while still following the rules and limitations. For example, explorers could explore new places on Earth, but they are still bound by the limitations of our planet. Sautoy says that computers are able to do this. They can perform lots of huge mathematical calculations that we cannot do mentally, which is helping us explore what is possible while following the rules of mathematics. How about the second type? Combinational creativity involves taking two seemingly completely different ideas and finding ways to combine them. For example, mathematician Grigor Perelman found that knowing the way a liquid flows over a surface could help him classify all possible surfaces that exist. Computers can kind of combine different things. For example, they can combine 2 different genres of music, but the coder would have to make the combination interesting. The third type of creativity is transformational creativity, which involves phase changes, or changing the rules of the game and or dropping long-held assumptions. A great example of this is the changing of the genres of music, from Baroque to classical to romantic to impressionist and so on, all of which the composers were exploring their limits and then finally breaking the rules, changing the rules of the game within their historical context. Now, this type of creativity is the challenge for computers. Sautoy writes, algorithms learn how to act based on data presented to them. Doesn't this mean they will be always condemned to producing more of the same? AI image generators are trained on existing images to generate new ones. They can even learn new styles. For example, we can give it a prompt like a landscape painting in the style of Monet and get something similar to the style of Monet. But is it possible for AI to create a completely new artistic style and initiate a whole new era of art, like how Picasso introduced Cubism or how Monet introduced Impressionism? In my opinion, the answer is no. Since AI image generators work by looking through existing images from their datasets, they can only imitate the patterns and finds of those existing images. Elin Du, a PhD student in the Department of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science and affiliate of MIT's Computer Science and Artificial Intelligence Lab, says that because these models are trained on what humans have designed, they can generate very similar pieces of art to what humans have done in the past. They can find patterns in art that people have made, but it's much harder for these models to actually generate creative photos on their own. Furthermore, if you try to enter a prompt like abstract art or unique art or the like, it doesn't really understand the creativity aspect of human art. The models are, rather, recapitulating what people have done in the past, as opposed to generating fundamentally new and creative art. So, AI does not seem to meet our criteria of creativity very well. Though we could say AI is somewhat capable of exploratory or combinational creativity, it's not so capable of transformational creativity. Also, AI cannot express itself, which is the next part of our definition of art I'd like to focus on, which is expression. AI may be able to generate sophisticated, cool images, but does it have the desire to express itself? I believe the answer to that is no. AI image generators are merely taking our text input, associating it with images and words from its dataset, and then generating images based on our input and the dataset. There is no desire of its own. Artist and digital media professor Cristobal C.S. asks this: one human thing is desire. I find myself wondering, what is AI's desire? We humans make art because we're sad. We make art because we're hungry. We don't make art because we have a ton of art books. Also, ultimately, AI is still driven by human code. Human coders, photographers, writers, and artists are the ones that provide the algorithms, words, and images used to train AI image generators. And we are the ones typing in the prompt. In Marcus du Sautoy's words, all the creativity in machines is being initiated and driven by human code. We are not seeing machines compelled to express themselves. They don't seem to have anything to say beyond what we are getting them to do. They are serving our urge to express ourselves. We now see that AI does not fit our definition of art because it lacks creativity and does not seek to express itself. AI-generated images are therefore not art, so it does not make sense to use the phrase AI art. Although some artists consider AI a tool they could use in their profession, AI is still only a tool. It is not the creator or the one who wants to express themselves. A phenomenon in social psychology is saying is believing. So if we say AI images are art, people will incorrectly believe AI images are art when they are not. As AI-generated images become more and more common in our society, it's important that we not refer to AI images as AI art, because AI-generated images are not art. Thank you.